RADIO.
I see my name in shining lights, yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host, Shalom Klein, has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success. Let's get down to business.
We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. In business, we talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. It's a live show. You can call into the beautiful studio here in Elk Grove Village at 312-642-5600, 312-642-5600. And indeed, a jam-packed lineup we have. First up on the program, I've got Stella, who is the Director of Strategic Accounts at Tandem HR. You hear their commercials on the program. And you hear me talk about them being a fantastic resource in the world of HR. But they are growing, which is fantastic. So, Stella, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that growth. You have been with Tandem for quite a while, but now you are literally stretching the rubber bands. What is the latest and greatest in the world of Tandem?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have been with Tandem in several different capacities. So started there about 10 years ago in benefits and also worked with them from an HR consulting perspective, and have been back since about January in an account management role, and have helped them really head up their opening of the Milwaukee office and just bringing our great solutions for HR to the Milwaukee area. That's
great. And many business owners in the Chicagoland area have read about the growth of Tandem, not just in quantity, but in quality and in growth of service offerings. So why the Milwaukee market, and what specifically do you have in mind in terms of industries and businesses?
Sure. So we really looked at our goals as a business and also the need. So we have several clients already in the Milwaukee area, southeast Wisconsin. We wanted to be able to service them a little bit more on site, higher touch, given the proximity, and really just be able to be a great resource for them in the Milwaukee area.
That's great. So I guess let's zoom out and let's talk about Tandem as a whole regarding the offerings. We throw around this acronym of PEO, and I'm at fault for often saying PEO without demystifying it. So if you don't mind, let's talk about what a PEO is and how Tandem is a great solution.
Sure, absolutely. So as you've already said, a lot of what we hear about types of organizations like us is we're a one-stop shop for HR, but what does that PEO really mean? So PEO is a professional employer organization. So we have several models for those HR solutions. The PEO model is really going to be a lot of times the ones that our clients are going to be able to find to be the most effective and cost-effective for their business. So that model will serve as a solution for people, and it's often through a co-employment relationship. So through that co-employment relationship, these small to mid-sized businesses are transferring a significant portion of risk and liability as it relates to employment to us as the PEO, so that they can really focus on their core business and what they offer while we handle all of the administration of payroll, taxes, liability, HR, benefits administration, risk management.
So how small is too small and how big is too big for a business in a PEO?
Sure. So that's a great question. I think depending on the type of PEO you are and what your goals are, that can look a little bit different across PEOs. But for us, we really don't see any client being too small or too large. So we have clients as small as 5 employees, and then we also have clients that are over 1,000 employees. So we really want to sit down with prospects and look at you as a business owner. What are your goals? What is your history, and how can we really help you keep your vision while we handle that back-end administration?
Fantastic. And later in the program, we are going to be talking actually regarding co-working, and we're going to be talking about small businesses that are in growth mode. So you are, as you mentioned, now heading up the Milwaukee office for Tandem HR. So as we talk about a PEO, and thank you for that very helpful explanation, so a small business that might have one person, maybe 5 people or more, and they are looking at how a PEO can help them. We talk a lot about how health insurance is a major concern for business. What are some of the other services that can be offered in a PEO? What are some of the other benefits to, as you said, partnering with a larger pool of companies?
Right. So I think health insurance is talked about most often, definitely a huge draw. But with that health insurance and the fact that with our large pool of worksite employees, we can get you really good options in that area. You also have to think about, okay, what do I do once I have these benefits? Who's going to administer them? So who's going to administer that plan? And that's something that we do through our benefits administration service. So you're really hands off as a business owner and your staff and having to deal with that, but you know that your employees are taken care of in that very important aspect of their, whole employee plan. On top of the benefits administration, we do full payroll administration. So that's really actually processing your payroll. Again, pretty hands off from that perspective. Risk management as well is going to be something that you can get onto our master plans through that PEO relationship. And we're fully managing your risk in your workers' compensation plans. Through our sister companies as well, this is done. And so we have voluntary benefit offerings. And we also have an employee assistance program through our firm that will be a great benefit to people as well.
That's great. So obviously the goal of any company is to grow, and with growth comes not only the advantages, but also some of the challenges that come along as well. So when we talk about HR and we share these tips and bits of advice on this program on a weekly basis, companies start to hire people. So you're saying that Tandem offers a full package in being able to administer the payroll. But what about the consultative discussion regarding hiring and potentially even firing?
Yeah, absolutely. So a very big portion of our business is that HR consultation, and a very strong arm of what we do, and a big part of my background. So most business owners that I meet are not going into what they're doing and have the vision that they do because they're thinking about having to deal with those day-to-day HR issues, especially employee relations. So we really focus heavily on that and work with teams to work through those issues. And when it comes to hiring, we will sit down with you, look at what your growth plans are, and help you decide how you can get that done, what you need to take into consideration or not. And then, like you said, there's that whole spectrum of employment. So the firing aspect of it, definitely not a fun part of the job, but we help you do it in the best way so that if you do have to take that route, as a business owner or a manager, you've done everything that you can for your employee to be successful. And you know that you have a very strong group of experts behind you that are making sure it's compliant and compassionate and the right thing to do.
So lots of great offerings for lots of great businesses. And I know that the fantastic team at Tandem really serves as a partner in that effort. So with the opening of that Milwaukee office, like we said, business with growth comes challenges. How are you going to handle? I'm not much of a sports fan, but how are you going to handle the rivalry that may exist between our Chicago teams and Milwaukee?
Sure. So it's definitely on our list of challenges.
Mm-hmm.
I will do a head nod to that. I actually grew up in Illinois. I've been in Wisconsin for about 8 years, and I'm also not a huge sports fan. So I think I'm a pretty neutral ground to handle those issues. But we'll find ways to keep it fun, keep it light, but without ruffling too many feathers.
Okay, good. Well, that's very, very important. So you're getting out there in the Milwaukee market. Obviously, you have clients out there that you're already servicing, but certainly well positioned for strong growth and for strong service offerings in the Wisconsin and, of course, Illinois and probably beyond business community. So I want to make sure that our listeners know how they can reach you and know how they can set up that initial consultation. How can people get a hold of you and your team?
Yeah, absolutely. So going to tandemhr.com will be a great resource. And from there and that website, you will hear our number all over the show as well. So you probably have heard it several times. So reaching out would be the best way. And through that number, you'll be able to reach our sales department either in the Illinois or the Wisconsin area.
Excellent. And the website is itself a great resource, aside for having all the contact information. Lots of great resources, a great blog all about employment. And I quote from that blog almost weekly on this program. So Stella Terry, again, Director of Strategic Accounts and and heading up the brand new Tandem HR Milwaukee office. Thanks for joining us one more time. If you don't mind sharing that website for our listeners that haven't yet written it down.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tandemhr.com.
Fantastic. Well, once again, thanks for joining us on the program. We'll be sure to follow the progress of the office and hope to have you back on real soon.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, coming up after the break, I'm going to be chatting with the founder of Life Working Co-working. We talked about it just a moment ago. Steve Whittington will be on the program with me. We're going to talk about the growth of businesses and why co-working is indeed a great solution for many businesses. Don't touch that dial, Chicago. Get Down to Business will be back in just a moment. As always, you can download podcasts on my website, shalomklein.com. We'll be right back after this quick break.
How can you get from here